Hello, beautiful souls. Today, we're going to talk about something that is both a blessing and a responsibility, a divine calling that goes beyond anything the world can give you. Have you ever felt like there's something more to your life? Something that pulls you in a direction you can't escape? That, my friends, is what we call being anointed. And let me tell you, when you're dangerously anointed, it's not always smooth sailing. In fact, it can feel like you're being stretched and shaped in ways you never imagined. So today, I want to share with you the 5 signs that you are dangerously anointed and what that really means. First, let's talk about the first sign you feel a constant pull to lead. You may not even want to lead. You may be content with staying in the background. But there's something inside of you, a tug, a whisper that says it's time to step up. You can't ignore it. And when the call to lead comes, it's not just about being in charge, it's about serving others, about making a difference in the world. When you're anointed, you can't run from it, no matter how much you might want to. Your influence grows naturally. People are drawn to you sometimes without you even trying. I'm talking about a kind of magnetic energy, a presence that people can't quite explain. It's not about being flashy or needing validation. It's because there's something inside of you that resonates with others on a deeper level. You don't have to chase influence. When you're anointed, it comes to you. And when it does, remember, it's not about you, it's about the impact you are meant to have. You've faced unseen battles that have strengthened you. Those quiet struggles that no one sees, those moments when you felt like giving up, when the weight of your journey seemed too much to bear. Let me tell you, those battles are preparing you. They're refining you for something greater. You don't always see the purpose of your pain in the moment, but trust me, it's part of the process. Those hidden struggles are a sign that you are being made stronger for what's to come. You're called to break barriers. When you're dangerously anointed, you don't just fit in, you break the mold, you challenge the norms. You're called to change systems, to dismantle what no longer serves, to speak out for justice where there is none. It's not always comfortable, and it's definitely not always popular, but that's the cost of being anointed. You are meant to break chains, to bring freedom to places that have long been in darkness. And finally, the 5th sign, you can't escape your purpose. It follows you, calls you, tugs at you in your quiet moments and loud ones alike. You may try to run away, to ignore it, to push it down, but it never lets go. That's the power of being dangerously anointed. It's a force that won't be denied. No matter where life takes you will always circle back to your purpose, and that's okay. In fact, it's exactly what you need. Now, let me remind you, being dangerously anointed is not about living a life of comfort or ease. It's not about accolades or applause. It's about living with the understanding that your life has purpose, that your call is bigger than just you. When you are anointed, you are entrusted with something sacred, and while it's a blessing, it's also a challenge. But don't be afraid of that challenge, my dear. Embrace it. Step into your purpose with grace and humility. Remember, the world needs your light. Your anointing was given to you for a reason. Don't shrink back. Step forward and be the change you are meant to be. Anointing is a concept that transcends religious or spiritual boundaries and speaks to a sense of being called or chosen for a specific purpose. It is not merely a title or a label. It is a profound internal transformation that comes when you are selected or empowered for something greater than yourself. At its core, anointing signifies being set apart, anointed with a divine or sacred purpose that goes beyond personal ambition or worldly success. In many spiritual traditions, anointing involves the pouring of oil or the laying of hands as a symbolic act, representing the infusion of divine power or favor. But in a deeper sense, anointing is about the presence of something bigger, something beyond human ability or understanding manifesting in your life. It's an unseen force that guides, empowers, and sustains you as you walk toward your unique destiny. Being anointed means you are equipped with certain qualities, strengths, gifts, wisdom, and resilience that set you apart to do something meaningful in the world. It's a call to action, to step into your purpose with a sense of responsibility. You may not have asked for it. You may not even feel fully ready for it, but once you recognize this anointing, it becomes clear that you cannot ignore it. It pulls you toward a destiny that requires you to go through trials, growth, and sometimes pain, but through it all, you are being shaped and molded for a higher purpose. The process of anointing can be invisible to others, but it's felt deeply within. It's often characterized by a sense of internal conviction that you are being prepared for something significant, something that aligns with the greater good. This anointing doesn't make life easier, but it makes you more equipped to handle the challenges that come with it. It gives you the courage to break free from the constraints of ordinary life and step into something that demands you to be more, to do more, and to offer more. Anointing doesn't always come with immediate recognition or acknowledgement. In fact, it often takes time for the depth of your calling to be fully realized by others or even by yourself. People with a powerful anointing sometimes struggle with self-doubt, questioning whether they are worthy or capable of fulfilling such a weighty purpose. But in those moments of uncertainty, they are called to trust that the anointing is not about their own strength or ability. It's about being a vessel through which something greater can flow. At the heart of understanding anointing is the recognition that it is not for personal gain or pride. It's a divine empowerment meant to serve others, to bring healing, change, or enlightenment to the world. Those who are anointed are often called to step into leadership roles, to influence their communities, to challenge systems, and to break down barriers that hold others back. They may face opposition or criticism, but the strength of their anointing sustains them through it, urging them to persevere. The weight of anointing is a powerful and often misunderstood aspect of being called to a higher purpose. While many people associate anointing with blessings, favor, or special gifts, what is often not fully understood is the burden that comes with it. When you are anointed, you are not just blessed to receive, but you are chosen to give, to lead, to influence, and to walk a path that requires a level of sacrifice, responsibility, and maturity that few are prepared for. The anointing is not a light mantle, it's a heavy one. It comes with expectations, both internal and external, that can sometimes feel overwhelming. You might feel a constant pressure to perform, to meet the needs of others, to live up to the potential you feel burning inside of you. The weight of anointing doesn't just come in the form of external recognition, but often through the internal demands of aligning your life with the purpose you've been given. It's a constant reminder that your choices, your actions, and even your thoughts have a ripple effect, and that your purpose is bigger than yourself. For those who are anointed, there is an unspoken understanding that you cannot live for yourself alone. Your life is no longer just about your personal happiness or success. Every step you take, every word you speak has the potential to impact the lives of others, sometimes in ways you may not even realize. That responsibility can feel heavy at times. It may feel like an unshakable weight, especially when the road ahead seems uncertain or when the demands of your calling seem to pull you in every direction at once. This weight can also show up in the form of sacrifice. When you are anointed, there are things you must let go of: habits, relationships, comfort zones that no longer align with the higher calling on your life. The path may demand you to walk away from certain things you love, to endure hardship, or to make decisions that go against the grain of societal expectations. The choices you make as a result of your anointing may alienate you from others or lead you to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself and the world around you. But here's the thing: the weight of anointing is not meant to crush you, it's meant to refine you. Just like precious metal that must be heated and shaped to reveal its purest form, the weight of your anointing serves to prepare you for the greatness that lies ahead. It forces you to grow, to mature, and to evolve into someone who is capable of handling the immense responsibility that comes with your purpose. It molds you into a person who can lead with wisdom, act with integrity, and serve others with humility. The weight of anointing also teaches you to rely on wisdom and discernment. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the demands of a calling, especially when others look to you for guidance. But the anointed individual must learn to discern when to act, when to wait, and when to step back and allow space for others to grow. The weight of anointing comes with the responsibility to navigate these moments with grace and humility, knowing that every decision has a profound impact on the people and situations you are called to serve. In the end, the weight of anointing is not something to fear, rather, it is something to be embraced. It is a sign that you have been entrusted with a higher calling, that you have been selected for a purpose that only you can fulfill. Yes, it will be heavy at times, but it is also the very thing that will lead you to your highest potential, your greatest contribution, and the fulfillment of your divine purpose. The weight of anointing is a reminder that your life is not just about you, but about the legacy you will leave and the lives you will touch. Sometimes this pull to lead can feel like an unrelenting weight. You might feel like you're not prepared for the responsibility, or you might worry about the impact of your decisions. But that's part of the process. Being anointed to lead doesn't mean that you have all the answers or that you're immune to doubt. It simply means that you have the courage to move forward, even when you don't have the complete picture. You're compelled to take action, to trust in the wisdom that's been instilled in you, and to move forward even when the path ahead is unclear. At times, this pull can feel isolating. Those around you might not fully understand why you are so driven or why you feel this inner compulsion to lead. It can be lonely in that space, especially when others are content to follow or remain passive. But that's part of the anointing, being set apart to do something different, something that others may not fully comprehend. The world may try to silence that pull or tell you that you don't fit the mold of what a leader should be, but the anointing on your life won't allow you to ignore it. Ultimately, the pull to lead is about purpose. It's the divine calling that calls you to rise above self-interest and act in service of something greater. It may be uncomfortable, it may stretch you, and it may push you beyond what you thought was possible, but it's the path you are meant to walk. And in walking that path, you won't just lead others, you'll also find that you are transformed, growing into the person you were always meant to become. When you feel a constant pull to lead, it's as though something deep inside of you is calling you to step up, to rise to a higher purpose, and to take charge in situations where others may hesitate. It's not about a thirst for power or control, but a magnetic force that seems to draw you forward. You don't necessarily ask for it, and at times you may even resist it, unsure whether you're ready or capable. But it's there, unmistakable and persistent, urging you to take that next step. This pull often comes with an undeniable sense of urgency. It's the feeling that something important needs to be done, and you're the one who has to do it. You might experience it in moments when you see a need, whether in your workplace, your community, or your relationships, and a quiet but firm voice inside says, it's time for you to take action. It's a calling that doesn't let you sit back and wait for someone else to take charge, but rather compels you to lead, even if you're unsure how to do it perfectly or whether you have all the answers. The pull to lead doesn't always announce itself in dramatic ways. It's often subtle and instinct, a knowing that you're being prepared for something bigger. It can manifest as a deep feeling that you have something important to offer, something unique that can help guide others through challenges or uncertainties. You might not actively seek leadership, but somehow you're drawn to it. In many ways, it feels as though leadership seeks you out rather than the other way around. For some, this pull might come in moments of crisis or need. When others are unsure, overwhelmed, you find yourself instinctively taking charge, even if you don't have all the answers. There's a kind of calmness or clarity that emerges in you, and people begin to look to you for guidance, even when you feel like you're still figuring things out yourself. It's a feeling that there's a greater purpose unfolding, and you're just the vessel chosen to help navigate it. You might not always feel ready, and you may feel the weight of the responsibility, but the pull doesn't go away. It simply grows stronger, urging you to trust in your instincts and your ability to lead in the moment. Even in the quietest moments when you're not necessarily in the spotlight, you might feel the tug of leadership calling you. It could show up in a conversation where you find yourself offering guidance, wisdom, or a fresh perspective that helps others see things in a new light. Or it might appear when you step up to organize something that needs doing, whether it's bringing people together, solving a problem, or taking the first step toward change. The pull to lead doesn't always require a grand stage. It's just as powerful in the small, everyday moments where your influence quietly and steadily guides the course of things. But the pull is not without its challenges. When you feel this call to lead, you often face self-doubt, wondering if you are truly capable or whether you have what it takes. It's easy to question your abilities, to wonder why you were chosen or whether you deserve such a responsibility. Yet the pull doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for willingness. It doesn't demand that you have all the answers or a flawless plan, it simply asks that you step forward, trusting that what you need will be revealed along the way. The act of leading, when you feel that pull, is not about proving yourself, but about responding to the greater need around you. The pull to lead also comes with moments of discomfort and vulnerability. It challenges you to grow, to face your fears, and to confront aspects of yourself that might not yet be fully developed. The calling to lead will often push you beyond your comfort zones, and you'll be asked to make decisions that feel bigger than you, to step into spaces where you might feel unqualified. But that's part of what makes this pull so powerful. It stretches you. It encourages you to trust that you are capable of becoming the person you need to be for those who are looking to you for guidance. Ultimately, the pull to lead is a reminder that your life has purpose and that you are being prepared for something meaningful. It's the whisper of destiny urging you to rise above self-doubt and to trust in your unique role in the world. Leadership, in this sense, isn't about position or title. It's about answering the call to serve, to guide, and to make a difference. The more you listen to that pull, the more you will realize that it's not just a force within you, it's the world around you that is asking for what you have to offer. And when you respond to that pull, you'll discover that the leadership you've been called to is not just for others, it's also for your own transformation and growth. When you are dangerously anointed, your influence begins to grow almost effortlessly in ways you may not always understand or expect. It's not about seeking recognition or striving to be seen. It's about something within you that naturally draws others in. People are inexplicably drawn to your energy, your words, your actions, and they look to you for guidance, comfort, or clarity, even when you aren't consciously trying to lead them. This kind of influence isn't about being the loudest or most charismatic in the room. It's about a quiet, steady force that emanates from you, creating a magnetic presence that attracts people who need to hear what you have to say or see what you have to offer. There's a subtle but powerful pull in your interactions. Whether it's the way you hold yourself, the way you listen, or the way you speak with conviction and authenticity, something in your presence resonates with others on a deeper level. It's like you have an invisible thread connecting you to those around you, drawing them in even when you're not trying to command attention. You don't have to force connections, chase after relationships, or prove your worth. The right people find their way to you. They may be strangers, acquaintances, or even people you've known for years, but they are drawn to you because of something they feel in your energy, a trust that is built on a deeper level beyond what can be seen or explained. Your influence grows because it's rooted in authenticity. People can sense when someone is genuine, when they are speaking from a place of truth and purpose. There's no need to put on a facade to impress or to try to be someone you're not. When you are aligned with your purpose and living authentically, your influence naturally expands because others begin to recognize and gravitate toward that truth. People respect those who are unapologetically themselves, and when you are true to who you are, that's when others will find themselves leaning into your words, trusting your actions, and seeking your guidance, often without fully understanding why. At the same time, your influence doesn't come with the need for control. It isn't about bending people to your will or manipulating situations. Instead, it's about creating space for others to step into their own greatness, to encourage them to rise and to empower them with the belief that they too have the potential for greatness. The more you live out your own purpose, the more others will naturally feel inspired to pursue theirs. This kind of influence is contagious. It spreads because it lifts others up and makes them feel like they too are part of something larger than themselves. The beauty of this kind of influence is that it's often not intentional. You don't have to be loud or make a grand gesture to be seen. The impact you make is felt in quiet moments, in small acts of kindness, in the way you listen intently to someone who is struggling, or in the way you show up consistently with integrity and passion. People take notice not because you're trying to impress them, but because your authenticity and consistency create a magnetic presence that others can't ignore. Influence also comes with a sense of responsibility. As your influence grows, you realize that it's not about the attention you receive or the admiration you get. It's about the impact you have on the people around you and how your actions, words, and choices shape the world. With this kind of influence, you understand that your role is to uplift, to guide, and to serve, not to be served. You're not looking for followers, you're looking for opportunities to empower others to lead, to help them see their own worth, and to encourage them to step into their own purpose. And it's not just about people following you, it's about you creating a ripple effect. When your influence is rooted in genuine care, wisdom, and in a desire to make a positive impact, it's like a stone dropped in water. The ripples extend far beyond what you can see. The people whose lives you touch will go on to touch others, and the influence you've had on them will continue to grow in ways that can't always be measured. What's key in this type of influence is that it doesn't depend on force or manipulation. It grows naturally because it comes from a place of true connection. It's about aligning with your purpose so fully that the people you're meant to reach are naturally drawn to you, not because of any external validation, but because they recognize something in you that resonates with what they need. There's a truth in your presence, a clarity in your actions, and a wisdom in your words that creates an undeniable pull. Your influence grows, and in its wake, it encourages others to embrace their own calling, to live authentically, and to realize the power within them. The unseen battles you face are often the hardest to endure, not because they are more difficult, but because they go unnoticed by others. These battles don't show up in public forums or on social media, and they aren't shared with the world in the way that successes and triumphs often are. But these battles are no less significant. In fact, they are often the very ones that shape your character and fortify your spirit, preparing you for the greater work ahead. Another unseen battle is the one that happens when you are standing on the edge of your calling but still feel the weight of the unknown. The fear of stepping out into something new, of taking risks, and of embracing the unknown can be paralyzing. Even when you feel a deep sense of anointing and purpose, the battle to step out in faith and trust that you're being guided can be one of the toughest. The resistance you feel, not from external forces, but from the fears within yourself, can be a silent yet powerful force. It's the battle of wanting to hold onto the familiar and the comfortable while knowing deep down that the next step requires you to let go and trust in the process, even when you cannot yet see the outcome. Then there are the external battles, the challenges that come from the environment around you. You may face opposition in your career, in your community, or in your personal life. There will be moments when you feel misunderstood or misrepresented, when others question your motives or doubt your capabilities. These external battles can feel particularly frustrating because they often come from places of ignorance, jealousy, or fear from others. People may not understand your anointing, and they may push back against what you stand for simply because it challenges their own comfort zones. It's in these moments that the unseen battle is not only within you, but around you as you fight to maintain your peace, your vision, and your integrity in the face of opposition. However, it is precisely in these unseen struggles that your strength is cultivated. You may not always feel stronger in the midst of them, but the battles you face in private are what build the resilience you need for the larger battles ahead. The quiet perseverance you demonstrate in the face of self-doubt, the wisdom you gain from navigating challenging relationships, and the courage you develop from facing your fears, all of these battles are silently preparing you for the work you're called to do in the world. They refine your character and shape your spirit, giving you the inner fortitude to stand tall, even when the storms around you are fierce. Over time, you begin to realize that these unseen battles are not meant to break you, they are meant to strengthen you. They teach you how to endure when everything seems to be falling apart, how to find peace in the chaos, and how to hold on to your vision even when it feels like no one else understands. They build your capacity for leadership, your ability to empathize with others, and your ability to walk in your anointing with humility and strength. These battles may not be visible to the world, but they are the foundational moments that equip you to handle the weight of your calling. And while these battles may feel isolating in the moment, they are also the experiences that connect you to others who are facing similar struggles. The things you fought through, whether it's self-doubt, rejection, or fear, become the very things that allow you to reach others with empathy and understanding. You may not know it in the moment, but the unseen struggles you face are preparing you to help others who will face similar trials along their own journeys. Your own pain, perseverance, and triumphs become the very wisdom and strength you can offer to those who need it most. When you are dangerously anointed, you find that a part of your purpose involves breaking barriers, whether they are personal, societal, or generational. This calling is not just about achieving success or reaching milestones, it's about pushing the limits of what is possible and dismantling the structures that seek to hold you and others back. It's about challenging the status quo, rewriting the rules, and creating new paths where there once seemed to be none. At first, breaking barriers might feel daunting. These obstacles can take many forms: limiting beliefs that have been ingrained in your mind, societal expectations that dictate who you should be or what you can achieve, or even deep-seated fears that keep you from stepping into your true potential. These barriers may be subtle, showing up as whispers of doubt or as external pressures that attempt to box you into a predefined role. You might hear voices, both inside and outside, telling you to play it safe, to conform, to follow the conventional path. But when you are anointed, there's an undeniable call to do something different, to challenge those boundaries and step beyond what others say is possible. The call to break barriers is often not a loud, dramatic moment of rebellion, but a quiet, persistent stirring within you that says, "This is not all there is." It might begin as a small voice inside that tells you that your life is meant to be different from the expectations that others have placed on you. Perhaps it shows up as a restlessness, a sense that you were made for more, even when the world seems content with the way things are. This feeling can be unsettling, especially when you're the only one who can sense the call to push through, to rise above, and to take a risk that others may not understand. But deep within, you know that the barriers you face are not meant to hold you back, they are meant to be broken. The courage to break barriers is rooted in the understanding that you were created for a specific purpose that requires you to step into uncharted territory. Sometimes these barriers are societal constructs, prejudices, or limitations based on race, gender, background, or circumstance that tell you what you can or cannot do. But the anointing on your life gives you the strength and resilience to defy those limitations. You were not created to conform to the narrow expectations others have set for you. You were made to redefine what is possible, to break through the glass ceilings, to dismantle the walls that people have tried to build around you. But even more than external barriers, breaking barriers also requires you to confront your own limitations. You may have internalized beliefs about yourself that hold you back, fears, insecurities, or doubts that tell you you're not worthy or capable of stepping into the fullness of your purpose. These are some of the most challenging barriers to break because they often feel like a part of you. It's easy to believe that you are confined by the boundaries of your past mistakes, your upbringing, or the challenges you faced. But the call to break barriers means that you must let go of those limiting beliefs, no matter how long they've been with you. You must trust that the anointing on your life is greater than any self-imposed boundary, and that you have the power to transcend your past and step into the future that has been prepared for you. When you are called to break barriers, you also realize that you are not just breaking them for yourself, you are breaking them for others too. Every time you push through a limit, you create a new possibility for someone else. Your courage to step into the unknown can become the beacon of hope for others who feel confined by their circumstances or by the expectations placed on them. You are not only creating a new future for yourself, but you are paving the way for others to follow in your footsteps. The barriers you break serve as a testimony of what is possible when you dare to believe that something greater lies on the other side. This calling to break barriers is not just about defying odds, it's about creating new frameworks, new models, and new ways of thinking. It's about expanding the vision for what is possible and demonstrating that there is always room for innovation, for change, and for progress. Whether you are breaking barriers in your career or your relationships or your community, you are invited to think beyond the limitations of the past and imagine a new future. This is what it means to break barriers, not just to challenge the old ways, but to create something that never existed before, something that is a reflection of your unique anointing. The road to breaking barriers can be difficult. It may be lonely at times, especially when others don't yet see the vision you're carrying or when they question your decisions. But the strength to continue comes from the knowledge that you are walking a path that was meant for you. You are breaking through the very barriers that have kept you and others trapped in cycles of limitation. And though it may be hard to see the full picture while you're in the midst of it, you will eventually realize that these barriers are stepping stones. They are the very things that, when broken, give you the foundation to build something far greater than you could have ever imagined. Ultimately, you are called to break barriers not for the sake of personal achievement, but for the larger purpose of freeing others and shifting the course of history. It's not about personal glory or fame, it's about fulfilling a destiny that requires you to confront and dismantle the obstacles that stand in the way of the greater work you're meant to do. When you rise above these barriers, you empower others to rise as well, and in doing so, you create a legacy of courage, resilience, and change. You show the world that the only limits that truly exist are the ones we accept, and that with faith, purpose, and an anointing that cannot be denied, no barrier is too strong to break. When you are dangerously anointed, you'll come to realize that no matter how hard you try to avoid it, you can't escape your purpose. It's woven into the fabric of who you are, deeply embedded in your soul. You may try to ignore it or run from it, thinking it's too big, too difficult, or even too daunting to embrace. But no matter how far you go or how hard you try to redirect your life, there's an undeniable pull that draws you back to what you were always meant to do. Your purpose, like a quiet yet persistent force, will always find its way to the forefront of your life. For some, the urge to escape their purpose comes from fear. There's a deep-seated belief that the weight of the calling is too heavy to carry, that it requires more than they have to give. They might feel unworthy or ill-prepared for the responsibility that their purpose demands. When this happens, it's easy to retreat, to go back to what feels safe, familiar, or comfortable. But even in those moments of retreat, there's a nagging feeling, a whisper that never quite disappears, reminding you that you are meant for something more, something greater. This inability to escape your purpose isn't about being trapped, it's about being called. It's a sacred, almost spiritual obligation that you can't outrun, no matter how much you might try. You might try to ignore it, to pursue other things, or to drown it out with distractions, but your purpose has a way of catching up with you. It will find you in the quiet moments in your dreams or in the situations where you least expect it. The more you fight it, the more it will rear its head, often in ways that force you to confront it head on. Another reason people try to escape their purpose is because of the fear of inadequacy. The weight of knowing that you are called to something significant can be overwhelming. You might look at the responsibility ahead and think, how can I possibly do this? The doubts flood in, and suddenly the very idea of living out your purpose feels impossible. But that's the paradox of being anointed for something greater. You are never truly ready in the conventional sense. You may not have all the skills or answers right now, but your purpose isn't dependent on your perfection. It's about your willingness to trust the process and to step out, even in the face of uncertainty. When you're anointed for something, you'll find that there's an inherent momentum to your life. Opportunities, connections, and experiences will appear, often at the most unexpected times, pushing you closer to your purpose, even if you're trying to avoid it. You might think you're stepping away, only to find that the path keeps pulling you back. It's like the universe conspires to redirect you toward your calling, to ensure that you can't escape it. The signs are everywhere: people, events, or situations that seem to nudge you in the direction of your destiny. The more you resist, the more you'll feel this magnetic pull, as if the world itself is conspiring to keep you on course. And there's beauty in that realization. It's a reminder that you are not alone in your journey. You are being guided. Your purpose is not just about what you want to do. It's about the unique contribution you are meant to make in the world, something far larger than your personal desires or plans. The calling on your life is part of a larger story, a narrative that transcends your own. Even when you feel lost, overwhelmed, or unsure, you are always moving toward your purpose, and you can't escape the divine plan that's unfolding. At some point, you come to understand that you were never meant to escape your purpose. You were meant to rise into it, to grow through it, and to make an impact that stretches beyond your lifetime. It may take time for you to fully embrace it, but when you do, you'll find that walking in your purpose is the most fulfilling and rewarding path you could ever choose. It's not about perfection, success, or fame. It's about the deep satisfaction of knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be, doing exactly what you were always meant to do. The danger of misunderstanding anointing lies in the way people can misinterpret its purpose, its power, and its responsibility. When you don't fully grasp what it means to be anointed, or if you mistake the anointing for something other than what it is, you can easily become disconnected from its true essence and intent. Instead of using the anointing to serve others, you might misuse it, or worse, you could squander the gifts it provides. Misunderstanding your anointing can lead you down paths of pride, confusion, or even disillusionment, especially when you expect it to work in ways that it was never intended to. Discernment is one of the most critical gifts that anointed individuals can possess, especially when walking through a life filled with purpose and responsibility. It is the ability to see beyond the surface, to perceive the truth in situations, people, and opportunities that might seem straightforward or even appealing at first glance. The importance of discernment cannot be overstated, as it allows you to navigate the complexities of life, make wise decisions, and avoid pitfalls that could derail you from your true path. Discernment also gives you the wisdom to understand the motives of others. Not everyone who comes into your life, whether personally or professionally, has your best interest at heart. People often act out of their own fears, insecurities, or desires, and those motivations may not always be in alignment with your vision. Discernment allows you to recognize the intentions behind a person's actions or words, helping you decide whether you should trust them, work with them, or maintain distance. It helps you guard your heart and energy, ensuring that you don't become entangled in relationships or partnerships that could drain you, confuse your direction, or compromise your integrity. Another vital role of discernment is recognizing the season you are in. Every phase of life brings its own set of opportunities, challenges, and lessons. Discernment helps you to understand the timing of your actions and decisions. Not every door that opens is meant for you to walk through right away, and not every opportunity is one you should seize in the moment. Sometimes the most strategic action is to wait, to pause, or to prepare, rather than rushing forward prematurely. Discernment helps you sense the rhythm of your journey, guiding you to move in sync with the divine timing of your purpose. It prevents you from forcing something before it's ready, or stepping into something too soon, which could lead to setbacks or unanticipated challenges. In the same way, discernment allows you to recognize your own weaknesses and limitations. It doesn't just protect you from external dangers, it also helps you confront your own internal struggles with honesty and humility. It's easy to become prideful or overconfident when you experience success, but discernment keeps you grounded, reminding you of the areas where you need growth, healing, or support. It helps you stay aware of the blind spots in your character and encourages you to continue seeking wisdom and guidance. It's a constant practice of self-awareness, ensuring that you remain aligned with your highest self and true purpose. Embracing your call with grace also involves a deep level of trust in yourself, trust in the journey, and most importantly, trust in the divine guidance that is leading you. Trust is essential because there will be times when the path doesn't make sense, when the steps aren't as clear as you hoped, or when others question your decisions. But grace allows you to trust that every step, even the ones that seem uncertain or unclear, is part of a larger plan. It's trusting that you don't need to have all the answers now, because the journey itself will reveal them in time. It's about surrendering the need to control the outcome and allowing yourself to flow with the process, knowing that it's unfolding exactly as it needs to. Furthermore, embracing the call with grace means recognizing that you don't walk this path alone. Even though the journey may sometimes feel isolating or challenging, grace reminds you that you are supported by your faith, by your community, and by a divine purpose that goes beyond your individual experience. Embracing your calling with grace means reaching out when you need help, leaning on others for strength when you are weary, and offering the same grace and support to others as they.